My name is Wiki. I enjoy reading books. Today I wish to give some true stories on psychology of persuasion and the rule of reciprocity. The first one about Hare Krishna Foundation and other one is about Amway Corporation. Welcome to my channel Wiki Psyche. If you like this video, please press like button. Subscribe to our channel Wiki Psyche because it supports us to make more videos.
I can admit it freely now. All my life I've been a patsy. For as long as I can recall, I've been an easy mark for the pictures of peddlers, fundraisers, and operators of one sort or another. True, only some of these people have had dishonorable motives. The others, representatives of certain charitable agencies, for instance, have had the best of intentions. No matter. With personally disquieting frequency, I have always found myself in possession of unwanted magazine subscriptions. So I started to read the books on psychology, here encountered a study on psychology of persuasion. A few years ago, a university professor tried a little experiment. He sent Christmas cards to a sample of perfect strangers. Although he expected some reaction, the response he received was amazing. Holiday cards addressed to him came pouring back from the people who had never met nor heard of him. The great majority of those who returned a card never inquired into the identity of the unknown professor. They received his holiday greeting card and they automatically sent one in return. While small in scope, this study nicely shows the action of one of the most potent of the weapons of influence around. Use the rule for reciprocation. 1. The rule says that we should try to repay, in kind, what another person has provided us. We might closely examine an experiment performed by Professor Dennis Regan of Cornell University. A subject who participated in the study found himself rating, along with another subject, the quality of some paintings as part of an experiment on art appreciation. The other rater, we can call him Joe, was only posing as a fellow subject and was actually Drive, Regan's assistant. For our purposes, the experiment took place under two different conditions. In some cases, Joe did a small, unsolicited favor for the true subject. During a short rest period, he left the room for a couple of minutes and returned with 2 bottles of Coca-Cola, one for the subject and one for himself, saying, "I asked him, the experimenter, if I could get myself a Coke, and he said it was okay, so I bought one for you, too." In other cases, Joe did not provide the subject with a favor. He simply returned from the 2-minute break empty-handed. In all other respects, however, Joe behaved identically. Later on, after the paintings had all been rated and the experimenter had momentarily left the room, Joe asked the subject to do him a favor. He indicated that he was selling raffle tickets for a new car and that if he sold the most tickets, he would win a $50 prize. Joe's request was for the subject to buy some raffle tickets at 25 cents apiece. Any would help, the more the better. The major finding of the study concerns the number of tickets subjects purchased from Joe under the 2 conditions. Without question, Joe was more successful in selling his raffle tickets to the subjects who had received his earlier favor. Apparently feeling that they owed him something, these subjects bought twice as many tickets as the subjects who had not been given the prior favor. Let's take an example that by now many of us have encountered. The Hare Krishna Society is an Eastern religious sect with centuries-old roots traceable to the Indian city of Calcutta. But its spectacular modern-day story occurred in the 1970s, when it experienced a remarkable growth not only in followers but also in wealth and property. Groups of Krishna devotees, often with shaved heads and wearing ill-fitting robes, leg wrappings, beads, and bell would canvass a city street, chanting and bobbing in unison while begging for funds. Although highly effective as a technique for gaining attention, this form of fundraising did not work especially well. The average American considered the Krishnas weird, to say the least, and was reluctant to provide money to support them. It quickly became clear to the society that it had a considerable public relations problem. The people being asked for contributions did not like the way the members looked, dressed, or acted. Had the society been an ordinary commercial organization, the solution would have been simple: change the things the public does not like. But the Krishnas are a religious organization, and the way members look, dress, and act is partially tied to religious factors. Because, in any denomination, religious factors are typically resistant to change because of worldly considerations, the Krishna leadership was faced with a real dilemma. On the one hand were beliefs, modes of dress, and hairstyles that had religious significance. On the other hand, threatening the organization's financial welfare, were the less than positive feelings of the American public toward these things. What's a sect to do? The Krishna's resolution was brilliant. They switched to a fundraising tactic that made it unnecessary for target persons to have positive feelings toward the fundraisers. They began to employ a donation request procedure that engaged the rule for reciprocation, which, as demonstrated by the Reagan study, is strong enough to overcome the factor of dislike for the requester. The new strategy still involves the solicitation of contributions in public places with much pedestrian traffic, but now, before a donation is requested, the target person is given a gift, a book, the Back to Godhead 18 Influence magazine of the Society, or, in the most cost-effective version, a flower. The unsuspecting passerby who suddenly finds a flower pressed into his hands or pinned to his jacket is under no circumstances allowed to give it back, even if he asserts that he does not want it. "No, it is our gift to you," says the solicitor, refusing to accept it. Only after the Krishna member has thus brought the force of the reciprocation rule to bear on the situation is the target asked to provide a contribution to the society. This benefactor before beggar strategy has been wildly successful for the Hare Krishna Society, producing large-scale economic gains and funding the ownership of temples, businesses, houses, and property in 321 centers in the United States and overseas. A different version of the free sample tactic is used by the Amway Corporation, a rapid growth company that manufactures and distributes household and personal care products in a vast national network of door-to-door neighborhood sales. The company, which has grown from a basement-run operation a few years ago to a $1.5 billion yearly sales business, makes use of the free sample in a device called the bug. The bug consists of a collection of Amway products, bottles of furniture polish, detergent, or shampoo, spray containers of deodorizers, insect killers, or window cleaners carried to the customer's home in a specially designed tray or just a polyethylene bag. The confidential Amway career manual then instructs the salesperson to leave the bug with the customer for 24, 48, or 72 hours, at no cost or obligation to her. Just tell her you would like her to try the products. That's an offer no one can refuse. At the end of the trial period, the Amway representative returns and picks up orders for those of the products the customer wishes to purchase. Since few customers use up the entire contents of even one of the product containers in such a short time, the salesperson may then take the remaining product portions in the bug to the next potential customer down the line or across the street and start the process again. Many Amway representatives have several bugs circulating in their districts at one time. Of course, by now you and I know that the customer who has accepted and used the bug products has been trapped into facing the influence of the reciprocity rule. Many such customers yield to a sense of obligation to order those of the salesperson's products that they have tried and thereby partially consumed. And, of course, by now the Amway Corporation knows that to be the case. Even in a company with as excellent a growth record as Amway, the bug device has created a big stir. Reports by state distributors to the parent company record a remarkable effect. For more videos like, share and subscribe the channel.